pick gods you like. This goes for any role, not even support. Like this is a really important one that I feel like a lot of people might gloss over, but um almost every character in Smite can be good, and it doesn't really matter if it's meta or not because gods come in and out of meta all the time. And just getting a pool of gods that you like playing is going to be way more important than playing the things that are meta because those guys can get nerfed in the next patch and then they're not going to be as good. So just having certain picks you like, comfort picks is like a lot of people like to call it, but just in general, just playing things you enjoy is always going to be better than just playing the meta all the time. Another big thing is learning items or learning all the items in the game, what they do, how much they cost. So when you back, you know how much it costs to buy. Even the tier two items. So say you back. So say you're playing support. You start with glowing emerald, which is Thebes' first tier in the tree, and you want to buy the tier two. It's 650, and that's good to know. And then for Thebes, it's 1750 if you have 600, and then if you have the tier two, it's 1100. So just knowing item prices, knowing what all the items do, like auras, for instance, like shoguns is a really good item to know. It gives attack speed. Just having an idea of what every single item does, so you don't get confused or lost when you're playing against certain items that people build, and just knowing what items to build yourself, because knowing all the items is definitely really beneficial. Learning all the gods' abilities, I feel like a lot of people come in. It's like there's so many characters now in Smite, so it can be pretty overwhelming. There's like 123 characters, I think, now, and a lot of the abilities are um just knowing all the abilities is a hard thing to do. Some of the abilities have, like Ardio, for instance, who's on this slide, has like more than four abilities because she shapeshifts. She has like six basically, and also her passive. So just learning all the abilities and passives can really help you out. And like I said, like almost everything on this slide kind of relates to all roles, but it's super important. It's like the fundamentals of the game, and if you learn all these things, it's gonna help out a lot. Jungle timers is jungle timers is another thing. The map changes every year, or even every patch. Like this patch or this latest mid-season patch, they added in the scepter, which wasn't there before. Um, they took away both the alpha camps by dual lane, and then they put the scepter there. And the jungle timers and jungle camps are always going to be changing, but learning what they do each and every season and how often they spawn is going to be a big help because it's going to allow you to set up for invades. It's going to get you to your own jungle camps on time so you're farming more efficiently and getting them down. And just having an idea if you need to be in a certain area if the other team can invade. Like if you know blue buff, for instance, is coming up in a minute and you feel like you're strong enough on that side of the map to fight, you want to be there for the blue to defend it if it looks like the other team wants to play towards that. Relic timers is another big thing. So all these things that I just listed, including the relic timers, are going to be the trivia at the end. So that's like I'm curious to see how many people know things. Hopefully you guys don't cheat. That'd be sick if you didn't. But relic timers are super important, especially as a support player. And I feel like as any character that has CC, like if you're playing Ares and the other team is going to build a bunch of beads, you definitely want to know when their beads are up and down because you can make plays really easily on them if they don't have their beads up, especially if they don't have CC immunity in their kits. So just being able to get timers down and just having like a feel for that is really good. Even if you don't get the exact timer at first, like just having an idea of when it comes up is really good. And this is something even pro players, including myself, like the relic timings, people can improve on that. Like myself included, just overall, like people are not that great with relic timings all the time. So beads, Aegis, Shell, Med, horrific, onk, everything teleport as well. Teleport's another big one that a lot of people don't really think about because Soul Laner has TP and you don't have the teleport timer and they come over and they TP to your side of the map, then you're just in an outnumbered fight and it's really bad. Um, Learning from your mistakes is really big, and just not being afraid to make mistakes is also a big thing because if you're not really testing the waters and getting in there, like you're never gonna get better. So, uh, just trying things out and not worrying too much about failing is really good because at the end of the day, it's just about having fun. So it doesn't matter if you make a lot of mistakes. And then the last thing is just be open minded. Like if you think some pick is bad or some item choice is bad that someone's buying, try to figure out why they think it's good. Maybe they're wrong, like at the end of the day, but at least give it the benefit of the doubt for a little bit. And then if it doesn't work out, then be like, hey, this is not that good. But, or same thing with a pick, like, hey, I don't think this is great. But I mean, some of the best picks in Smite in comp have come from just people trying things out and it not looking very strong. Like a really popular pick was Fenrir's support, and I played that a lot in season one. And a lot of people told me that it's not good. That God's bad. Like just saying a bunch of different things, but it ended up being one of the best picks like in the history for assassin supports of Smite. So just having an open mind and just willing to try things out and also trying to see why people are picking certain things on your team is always a good way to be because you'll definitely learn something at least even if it doesn't work out. And then it's also important just to make goals for yourself. Enjoy it. It doesn't even it doesn't have to be a goal like I want to get to masters or I want to win this X amount of games. Just trying to learn like a couple gods abilities, like trying to learn like all the guardians abilities or like all the hunters abilities or um just trying to learn like beads and Aegis relic timings, not even like all the relics, just some of them. Just learning a few things at once and just going making small steps into learning everything because once you get the fundamentals down, it really helps you in all areas of the game and like any role. Um so the start of the match, you're most likely depending on the game mode, you're either going to be drafting or blind picking. And we'll talk more about drafts. So blind picking in a draft is you don't see what your opponent is picking for lane or just for anything in the game. So say you your team wants you to pick early because they want you to pick Yemoja because Yemoja is a really strong god right now. You're basically going to blind pick Yemoja. You're not going to see anything that the team is going to pick. Um, so picking Yemoja, you can go into it thinking what gods might counter you, like Cerberus or Cabrakan, um, have really good matchups into you. They might pick gods that abuse your non CC immunity of your kit as well. Like nothing in Yemoja's kit makes your CC immune. So Wheelix is really strong because you can pull off your own Riptide. So just start thinking about things that could be good against you and letting your team know these are some of the picks that the other team can maybe pick and um, they can prepare and pick something good into that. What start items you want for the game? Right now, Benevolence is really strong because you can build that into Compassion, and it's probably the best aura item in the game because it's just 15% damage mitigation for everyone around you on your team besides yourself, and you take a little bit of that extra damage, but it doesn't really hurt you too much. Sentinels is good, so right now for start items mainly, Sentinels, you're gonna buy that when you want to go blink on supports because Compassion is gonna put you in combat. It's gonna make it really hard to blink. Or you're gonna buy Sentinels if you want to play for the lane and play early game because Sentinels is a little bit better than Benevolence in the early on, but Benevolence is better later on because it scales up with your HP pool. Because the more HP you have, the more you'll heal off your Benevolence stacks. So Benevolence is definitely the way to go. Um, and then relic choices. You got to figure out what relics you want. Definitely talk to your team if you're playing with people, being like, do you want a bracer here, or do you think we should go Ankh because they have some healing? Do we need a Phantom Shell? Do we need Sprint because they have a character like Cupid and you want to use it to get out of his ult? Like, just be thinking about what relics you want for your own team and what relics would be good against the other team as well. Like Nike's another big one. If she ults, you probably want to Sunder in your team somewhere. Or if you're against a Terra, you probably want to Ankh on your team for the anti-heal. Right now, um, the I guess the normal start in quotations, like I don't know what people want to call it, but just what the majority of people are doing right now are starting on green buff, which is good, but a lot of people like to invade right now, especially recently. So just putting down your vision shard and trying to scout and having your team kind of ward up the duo side of the map early on is really good. Warding your own purple or warding entrances in the jungle or pathways in the jungle that you could see the other support walking over to invade is very strong. So just doing your green and going to purple is good. If you want to invade, it's also good as well. Just make sure you know that you can actually steal at least sides from a camp if you do it. And you want to put your wards down, kind of scouting out for them. A good ward for that's like an obelisk ward or even the rock under the obelisk. Both are really good if you can tell someone in your team to do that to see them coming from green if they do. But definitely scout out for the other support and just um make sure you get your buffs because it's very important to have a really good early game in any role in Smite because if you get behind early, it's a lot harder to play. And just you don't have to get ahead necessarily, but just being on pace and farm is really good. Lane phase, wave clearing. So the first thing I notice when I lane with someone in dual lane or not is I mean, I like my biggest one of my biggest pet peeves in ranked or just in general really doesn't happen when I play in comp or anything, but in ranked especially is if someone's not clearing the wave first before they start hitting the enemy. Um, Clearing the wave is like the most important thing in the entire game because minions do a lot of damage and they also can block your hunter's auto attacks or in hands, and that stops a lot of damage in the lane. As a support, grouping the wave up for your hunter to clear is very strong. Like a perfect example of this right now is if you're playing Kepri, um, you can kind of use your Kepri too. That's the ability you usually start with. You use that, and if you shoot it through the entire minion wave, it's good. But if you're a Kepri Ishtar lane, or Kepri Cupid, or Kepri Cernunnos, which are like the three meta hunters right now, like the most popular hunters because they have really high clear and really high pressure in lane. If you're laning with one of those as a Kepri and you use your two on the enemy to group the wave up, because when you hit an enemy, the minions aggro onto you, so you can bring the melee minions into the archers, stack them up, and you can clear the wave really easily with um those three hunters that I listed. It depends on who you're laning with. If you're laning with like a Izanami or Rama, you might just want to throw your two through the wave. But grouping up the wave and setting it up to clear for your hunter is really, really strong, and it allows for a lot of kills. And I really want to stress this a lot. Like clearing the wave is so important because it gives you such an advantage in the fight. If you're fighting with even one archer, you're at a huge advantage. And also the first wave is even more important because you'll hit level 2 if you do the green to purple route. And if you out clear them and hit level 2, you'll have an extra ability on them. So say you're Kepri Ishtar, you clear the wave with Ishtar's AoE auto or in hand attacks. Your Kepri, you can pluck either the support or the hunter, and you can look for a kill, and your archers can help you out if you out clear them. So just clearing the waves really strong, and it allows you to rotate as well. And it also allows you to back a lot faster, and it allows you to do jungle camp. So like If there's one thing you take out of this entire slide, like just make sure you're clearing the wave before you do anything else. It is the most important thing. Um, Avoiding last hits for your start item, if you have any of the support items, is very strong. Like it just gives you extra gold. It's not the end of the world if you take a couple, especially if you're playing to clear the wave, like I said. But just getting that additional gold is really good because it allows you to back faster for your first item. Scepter right now, super important. If you get Scepter, you basically are gonna win lane because it gives you so much wave clear, and it also gives you a lot of uh damage on jungle camps. Um, you definitely want to out clear them before you pull. You want to almost push them back into their tower line before you pull it, unless you're on a god that has really good secure, or if you want to bait a fight. But even having good secure, you usually want to push them in because if you're that much stronger than them that you feel confident in pulling it with the good clear, it's just better that you push them all the way back and then just get it for free. If the lane's kind of even, you definitely want to call for your jungler to come over. It's a really good way to get your jungler involved somewhere and like a really easy gank in the early game. And getting the scepter is just gonna win you that side of the map and make you really strong, and that'll help you later down the line. For invades are like weird because I'm trying to think. I think in season 7, mid-season patch in season 7, they reduced the XP in gold. I could be wrong on that patch, but in like the last 2 years, they reduced the XP in gold that jungle camps give you on invades. So invading a purple is definitely still really good. Same thing with a red, but if you're losing farm or if they're like pushing the wave into your tower and you're missing half the wave, that's not going to be worth it because you're not going to get that much golden XP from that camp. You are taking away their golden XP, but you only want to do it if you are out pressuring them so hard and you can do it fast and get out. Because it's also really easy for you to get ganked if you're up that far when you're invading. Um, Speaking of ganks, like jungle ganks are gonna happen. It's definitely important that you're trying to communicate with your mid and jungle where the jungler is, even where the mid laner is, because the mid laner can come over and gank you as well. Um, So just knowing where the mid and jungle are at are really important, and having like you want to make sure you're always kind of looking at your pressure in lane, basically, or your pressure in the mid lane and how strong your mid jungle are versus their mid jungle. Like talk about it before the game with your team because if you have more mid pressure, um it's less likely that they'll gank you because they're going to be pushed under their tower and they're not going to have time to rotate to your lane and gank you as much. So just if they have more mid pressure, just keep in mind that they can easily gank you. So just be watching out for that. Totem of Ku's really strong, um, especially if you're playing aggressive in lane. Both of you, yourself and your hunter, are going to be using a lot of abilities. So just having that extra mana is really beneficial. And even if you're losing lane, it can help you come back and even win the lane if the other lane runs out of mana and you have Ku. Ku can literally win a dual lane, especially if the lane's close as well. Like that's one factor that can win you the lane. And then, like I was saying, like the mid pressure, just watch out for the mid pressure and rotations to your lane because it could happen if they have that. Um, when you want to back, like the ideal back timing is when you have a full item. Um, for your first back at least out of lane phase, if you can finish your Gauntlet of Thebes, or if you rush a Sav, if they're like a 4 physical comp, or if you go Mail of Renewal, like you want to back for those items in full because that's going to give you a really strong power spike to play over the neutral objectives, and having that's going to be really good, especially if it's an ore item like Sav. And then wards, if you can get a ward as well, would definitely be really good. But definitely on your first back, focus on getting your full item And once you get that full item, you can look at relic upgrades and wards a lot more. But the full item is super important. So neutral objectives and camps. These are kind of the way you get ahead in Smite. Is whoever controls the neutrals is usually going to get ahead, and these are like the most important things on the entire map that you can play for every game that aren't really risky, and it causes people to fight. Mid camps for dual lane, they're not really important for you, at least early on. Like, you're not going to worry about them. They spawn at 135, and then they spawn 2 minutes 30 seconds after that. Um, Oracles, the only time you're ever going to be able to do oracles as a dual lane is if you have really high duo pressure. With the addition of Scepter, it's definitely a lot more doable now. But I wouldn't really worry about them either early on. The big thing is like Greater Scorpion at 5 minutes. You definitely want your team to do this, and you want to get it off the map as soon as possible so you can get another one as soon as possible. And empowering your buffs is really strong. Um, and like I was talking about before, when you back for your full item, it's either going to be before the Greater Scorpion spawn at 5 minutes or around the 5 minute mark, depending on how hard you're winning lane. If you're getting everything, like if you get Scepter, if you get the duo mid camps, if you get a purple invade off, and then you get your own purple, if you get all of that before your first back, you're probably going to be able to back before 5 minutes and make it over for the Greater Scorpion. But you also have to think about the Scepter. The Scepter spawns every 3 minutes after it's downed, so it's going to spawn around the anywhere between 4 minutes and 15 seconds to like 5 minute mark. So depending on when you do the Scepter, it could kind of match the Greater Scorpion spawn. So that's where the first choice you have in the game really comes down to, like, do you want to go back to dual lane and play for Scepter because Scepter is really strong and it allows you to kind of control wherever you're playing if you have that, or do you want to go to Greater Scorpion and get global gold for your team and empower your buffs? Power buffs are really good. uh your green buff when it's empowered is very strong, gives you MP5 and HP5, which are both really good stats, and it gives you HP as well. The non-empowered green buff is good, but it's not a big deal if you have it or not. But if your green buff's empowered and you pick it up, it's going to be really helpful early game, especially when you don't have any MP5 items at all. It'll really help with your mana, and you can definitely do a lot with that buff. And then Obelisk spawns at 6 minutes. This is a really another. It's a really important objective as well because it's another global gold sink for your entire team. Uh, the cups or chalices spawn every minute 30, and they all spawn on the entire map in set areas at 6 minutes. So you really want to prioritize duocide cups. And then after that, if you're around Greater Scorpion, mid camp cups. And this is another reason why you want to get the Greater Scorpion down at 5 minutes, or have your team at least try to shoot for getting the Greater Scorpion down at 5 minutes, is because it allows you to be on time for cups when they come up. And you definitely want to be on one of the cups when they spawn as a support. Getting the trebuchet, really good for taking down towers. Tier 1 towers give more gold now than they used to in the past. They give 125 gold instead of 75 like last year. So getting the tier 1 towers, very strong for global gold for your team. And also just finishing the obelisk yourself nets you a pretty big golden XP swing for the early game. And it's for the entire map. And it's XP as well. And that XP early is very, very good. Transition to late game. Once Greater Scorpions and Obelisks are decided, you need to start focusing on keeping up on your farm. I feel like I see a lot of supports kind of just wander around in the jungle, especially in ranked games, or just even in like casual conquest games. They'll kind of just not really split anything. A lot of people really don't want you in your lane, so you kind of have to like do a balancing act of like trying to take waves from everywhere, taking like a jungle camp here or there, but you definitely don't want to not be taking any XP, because you're just as important as anybody else in your team when it comes to farm. Because if you don't have any farm, you're not going to be able to do anything, and you're just going to get blown up in a fight if you're really weak. Warding map objectives like Gold Fear and Fire Giant, once the neutral objectives are down, like Greater Scorpion and Obelisk, there isn't going to be any other neutral objectives besides the big map objectives. Pyro comes up at 10, Gold Fury comes up at 5. Usually around like the 8 to 10-minute mark, especially for Pyro, is that's when people can start doing objectives. So you definitely want to keep wars on those so teams don't get them for free. Um, and then you want to focus on playing around the strong side of your map. So like if you get a big lead in duo early, you definitely want to be playing around duo side. Like if you're getting the scepters and duo early and you're getting purple invades off and getting timers and just you're overall stronger on that side of the map, you definitely want to play there. And also it helps you with your farm if you're playing on the stronger side of the map because people that are ahead are more likely to give you farm it and not really like complain if you're there or not. And being somewhere where you're stronger is going to be a good thing for yourself too because if you do if a play does happen on that side of the map, you should win it because you are stronger. And then once after the second or third greater scorpion, after the second obelisk, you kind of want to try to get everybody in the map involved around the big neutral objective boss camps like Pyro and Gold, and then even maybe even like early fire around 20 minutes. Just getting everybody involved and everybody in the same spot and trying to make a play is really good. Just having the lanes pushed out and just trying to get there and not lose too much farm and timing it is really important, but it's also a hard thing to do. But if you see an opportunity where your team's a lot stronger, it's okay to lose some of that farm to just maybe try to make a play and get the big jungle camp bosses off off the map like Gold Fury and Pyro. Late game, there's a lot of things you can do as a support in Smite. Um, you have a lot more access to farm than other games like League and even Dota. I don't really know Dota too well, but I know I've played a fair bit of League, and you don't really have a lot of farm comparatively like that you get in Smite. Like you have a lot of gold and you have a lot of items. You're actually like a tanky character, so you can either choose to dive or play with your backline. Really depends on what kind of god you are. Like if you're Kepri, you definitely don't want to be diving. You definitely want to play with your backline and be plucking frontliners. But you can support your dive with your Kepri ult. Like if someone dives in, like if you have a Pele that's ults in on their backline, it's a really good thing to ult the Pele because if they don't kill the Pele, she's gonna kill your entire team. So there's a lot of gods that kind of play both, and there's a lot of gods that can do both. Like Ares is another good example of you can chain tanks and use your bolster defenses, which is your 2 on your backline, and keep them alive, or you can blink in on their backline and chain somebody who has a dash and maybe no CC immunity in their kit, and then maybe look to ult them. So it really just depends on what god you are, but playing either with your front or with your dive or your backline is really important. Um, and that's something that you need to talk about with your team as well, especially if you're in a competitive scenario. Like when you're looking at your comp, what do you want to do with the god that you're playing? And you also want to look at the enemy team as well. Like if you're Ares and they have a god like Hades, for instance, if you blink in, he's just gonna Hades ult you. Even if you ult, you're gonna die. So you just gotta really think about what gods you have on your team and how they work, and also what gods are in the enemy team. So, and then like another good example is if someone's diving your backline, say if Thor dives your backline and you want to stop him from hammering out with any CC after he dunks on your backline or something, that's a good thing to do. So just be thinking about plays you can make on certain characters in the match that are either going to threaten your backline or easy characters for you to kill when you dive in with your team. So that's something you definitely want to be talking about. Warding super important. Fire Giant and Gold Fury are big wards to get, and just around Gold Fury, like you can ward the Scorpion area. Back camp wards really strong. Um, Flanks and like jungle road, like just areas that people are gonna walk over in the jungle. A good way to think about it is like just look just look where you would stand. Like try to ward where you would stand, basically, when you're playing around an objective in the late game. It's really strong. And then, like I said, communication. You definitely want to be trying to call out um, if you CC'd somebody. Like if you get a big Aries alt, how much people you're pulling. If you get a Kepri pluck, um, get a Kepri root. If you get a big Geb alt, Kumba Mez, you want to be talking about your CC because that's gonna be the green light for a lot of people. If you get a big CC on someone, that's when you want to go. Or um, even like uh, a big alt on someone, or if it, like a big Kepri alt on someone as well, is a good thing to talk about. Like the scenario I was talking about earlier with the Pele diving in, you could do that with almost any jungler. It'd be really good. So just calling out like key parts of your kit in the team fights is really good and really good information for your team. Um, communicating flanks, like a lot of junglers like to flank, and what a flank is getting positioned behind the enemy team. So you're coming in from behind them instead of in front of them. That's where junglers usually tend to position, and you want to be talking about where the jungler is positioned. So when a team fight starts, that the jungler just doesn't get to run loose and kill everybody in your team because you're not accounting for him. So it's really good to talk about the jungler that's flanking you, or setting up a flank for your own jungler is also good. And then priority targets are really important. Like if you know someone's beads are down, make sure you're communicating that to your team. Like the relics, like the next point I have down in there is the relics. Kind of fits hand in hand with priority targets. So, or if someone needs to die on the other team, like if they're doing a ton of damage and if they're really fed and you need to focus down somebody, that's a really important target. That's something you need to talk about for sure in the team fight. Um, but yeah, definitely be talking about what you can do in fights late game with your team if you want to play backline or if you want to play dive or if you can do a little bit of both. Like certain gods can do that. Some gods are better at diving than others, and some gods are playing better with your backline than others. So it's always important to talk about. Communication is definitely a very good thing, and if you have good communication, it makes a lot of things easier, and it makes you and your team look very good if you're communicating well. So it's really important. And that is basically it for the presentation that I had. Then this is some of the trivia. All the trivia is going to be timers. Um, so we'll go down the line. There is a lot of you guys. So how? What is there? Is there a channel that we can do this in that would be good? Like that I can type stuff in. Would that just be general? Sorry, say that again.
Sorry, my mic was muted. Yeah, you can just type that in general.
General. Okay, cool. So I think what I'll do for the trivia is we'll just go down the line. It's just all timers basically. Um, so I'll just put like this in general, and then this will be for a new thing. So we'll just go down the line, and if you want to buzz in, whoever buzzes first can answer the question. We'll just go down the line in order, and then whoever gets it right will they'll get a skin code. I have 2 skin codes to give away. Um, they are. Let me see what they are. They are Chibi Ra and Pandemonium Odin. So you could pick between one of those skins. All right, so I'm gonna pick random ones off this. So, once I pick one, uh, whoever types buzz first can answer it, and then we'll just go down the line. If they get it wrong, we'll keep going, and then whoever gets it right gets a skin. Are you guys ready? You can get it typed in, pre-typed in too if you want. Okay, so the first one is. Hold on, actually. I have the answers just so I should know all these, but I just want to make sure I have them. Uh, all right, let's do mid camp 150. So whoever buzzes in first can answer. All right, Super Chef got has it. What time does mid camp spawn if you complete them at 150?
Uh, I think for 420.
Yeah.
Hey,
So do you want a chibi raw or pandemonium Odin skin?
the raw skin.
The raw skin, okay. If you get one right, try to not answer until I think everybody has a skin because there is a lot of people here. So I'm gonna definitely give everybody. Yeah, make sure you type buzz as well. All right, let's do Greater Scorpion 507. All right, Saffron.
That should be 807.
Nope.
Ah, fuck.
All right, David.
907.
Yep, 907.
It's so smart, dude.
My rival.
Yo.
All right, which one do you want?
I'll take the raw skin. Thank
The
you.
raw skin? All right.
I literally took notes on like everything he said, and I still got it wrong. So awesome.
I don't know if I think I went over the Greater Scorpion time. I don't know if I did or not. Um, all right, there you go. All right, let's do Aegis 1651. All right, we'll give it to Bapokin for sure.
It's gonna be 1931.
Nope.
Dang, unfortunate.
Very close though. Shaky Wakey?
Like, just base Aegis, no upgrade.
No upgrade, yep.
Uh, oh god, I should have thought about this at a time. Uh, you go to next person.
All right, Mex.
1831.
Nope.
No.
Anybody else want to buzz in? Friendum.
All right, I'm gonna say 1941.
Yep. You got it.
I'll take
Or
it.
which-
Hey, hey, bro, that's not fair. He's been playing for like 12 years. So.
I mean, hey, Aegis's timing actually changed this year. It's 170 seconds.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, did they
yeah,
change it
so-
from 160?
They did change it. So that same with beads, like beads and Aegis, with the pre-upgrades, they changed the timings from what they used to be.
Oh,
So
okay.
definitely changes up.
They should be like 140, no?
If you
Something like
upgrade
that?
them, it's 140. Now. Okay, let me see. You want the raw skin, you said?
Yeah.
All right.
He's gonna.
I
be
feel like
using it
everybody's
a
gonna
lot.
want the raw skin for whoever answers the first ones. Ugh.
The Odin skin's just older. We've all got it.
Ugh.
Hey, who's we, bro?
Baron,
All right,
how-
let's
Oh.
go ahead. What were you say?
I was gonna say, I wonder how many times Baron's gonna use that skin for raw.
What role do you usually play, Farron?
I am a support.
Oh, nice. Let's do Phoenix 2033. Oh wait. Okay, I didn't do dots, but Rekka's the first one who did it. All right, Rekka.
Oh, I think mine was for the last one.
Oh, yours was for the last one. Okay,
Yeah.
Babokin.
All right, I got this. 2333.
No,
What? Is it not
Oh.
3 minutes? What the crap?
no.
Oof.
Anybody else?
When did they change?
Rekka.
Is it 2433?
Yeah. If I am wrong on these, I will. If you
It
guys
has to
fact
be.
check me,
Yeah, I
I
fact
It's
what?
checked it. It's 4
It's
minutes. I
1
fact
minute
checked.
Yeah.
before Fire Giant, so it's
Yeah.
I made sure I went into the game and I made sure I did all these right because I didn't want to look like an idiot if I had any of them wrong. But I'm like 99% sure they're all right. But if you do fact check me, I will personally gift you a skin if one of them are wrong. Which one do you want?
I'll take the Odin skin.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I know you told us like the timers and everything, but I'm just bad with numbers overall. So math is
To be fair, I didn't give all the timers for all these. I gave for a couple, I think. But it's definitely good to learn them all. Okay. Let's do upgraded Ankh. 2022. So it's the upgraded version. All right, name.
it is 2144. Wait. Yeah, that's my final answer.
That's your final answer?
Yep, yep.
Nope. Babakin?
I'm just gonna hope it's 2 minutes. 2222.
Nope. Mex?
Is it? Fuck. Is it 2212?
Nope. Daddy Dark Aura.
I do believe it's just 2202.
Correct.
Damn.
You got it.
Yeah, it's like one of the shortest, isn't it? Like
I know it's really short, but how many seconds is it? Like 100?
Yeah, so it's
It's like
it's
100.
it's the
Yeah.
normal Ankh is 2 minutes, and then if you upgrade it, it's 1:40.
I thought okay.
And as
So-
you could probably guess, I will take raw, as everyone else has.
Hey, not everybody else. Almost though.
Almost.
I don't understand how y'all are classifying these numbers. I look like I feel like I'm at a math class. I don't understand the formulas or anything. What are y'all using to figure out these times?
I should have
what does
explained that. I'm sorry.
722 mean? I don't know what that means.
Just the in-game timer. So say you do, or say you use your Ankh. Someone uses their Ankh at 2022, like in game, like the in-game timer, like 20 minutes, 22 seconds in
Oh,
game.
yeah.
When will it come back up? I should have explained that too prior to the.
No, because I was curious why Med apparently took like 4 minutes longer to get off cooldown than Shell. I was really confused there. I had no idea what that meant.
My bad. Yeah, I should have definitely explained that. This is okay. This is my first time doing this too, so I'm sorry. All right, let's do. Speaking of Med, let's do Med 701. Shaky wakey.
Med for 701, I would say that is 931.
Yep.
Oh, I'll take the Odin skin.
Take the Odin skin. Nice. Wait, Daddy Darko, did you take the Odin skin or the Ra skin?
Raw.
Ra, okay. Cool. So I have one more Ra skin left, and then I have 3 more Odin skins. So if you want a Ra skin, make sure you get this next one. Let's do teleport for 10-11. Red Rosie. Nope. Close though. Sorry, Freezing Fantasy.
1311.
Nope. Mex.
Is it 13 31?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Hold up, wait. Let me flip a coin first. I don't know which one I want.
Okay.
Okay, Google, flip a coin. Alright, give me the Odin skin.
Odin skin. All right, nice. The Ra skin is still alive. So 2 more Odin skins and then 1 Ra skin. All right, let's do red buff 416. Bapkin.
Let's see if I don't go over 5. 2 minutes, 6:16.
You are correct.
Okay, wait, no, wait, I get this one wrong. Actually, I sit on the red buff, like.
Which one do you want?
Take raw.
Ra. Okay. So the next 2 are just for Odin skins. All right. Let's do Chalice 6 minutes.
That would be 7 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yep. Saffron, you're right. So you got an Odin skin. That is one that I did go over, I remember.
What's chalice?
So the little gold cup icon in the minimap that spawn 2 spawn in the duo jungle, 1 above purple buff, or they both spawn above purple buff on each side of the map,
Oh, okay.
and then one in the mid camp, yeah, or cup.
Is that
or
what they're
whatever.
called chalices? I just call them cups, to be honest.
Yeah, cups or chalice, yeah.
Oh, and
Even though
they're
they're bubbles now, aren't they?
Yeah. Jungle offerings, yeah, whatever they're called. But I should have put cup chalice. That's my bad.
I was thinking health chalice for some reason.
Honestly, I was too. I was like,
Yeah, my bad.
You good? You good?
All right. All right, we'll do one more, and then we can do some questions. Let's do. Let's do bead 722. This is a big one to know for supports. Honestly, for everybody. Freezing Fantasy.
I'll give it a guess. We're going 10:22, 3 minutes.
Nope.
Rip.
Anybody else? Gaming Obelisk?
Is it 8 minutes 12 seconds?
Nope. Wait, you said 10:22, right? Freezing Fantasy?
Yes.
Nope. Yeah. Okay. Summer?
Is it 9:33?
Nope. Is anybody who hasn't got a skin, do they want to go before I start giving people who've gotten skins another chance to guess? All right. Daddy Dark Aura.
Yeah. The beats is the two, and then it's brain work. 5. So it is. It's 10:02, right?
Nope.
Off.
Red Rosie.
I did my math wrong.
Mm-mm. Nope. Mex.
Is it 10-12?
10-12, yeah. So good trick for beads and Aegis is just it's
Plus 3
150.
minutes and then
Yep.
minus
Plus
10 seconds.
Yep, that's the trick. Plus 3 minutes minus 10 seconds is the best way to do it, so you can do it fast without thinking about it.
Dude, for some reason I thought it was 160. So I'm fucking doing math. What the fuck?
I knew it was 170, but I just did the math wrong.
And then Mex got that right?
Yes, sir. Give me my second Odin skin.
Alright, you gonna give it to somebody
Yeah,
else?
I'm just good to one of my friends.
Alright, sweet.
Or so I say. Yeah.
You gonna gatekeep a second Odin skin, man?
Yeah, I'm just keep it there.
Nice.
Sell it on eBay for $10.
Honestly.
I don't know when they expire. I asked Avrin, one of the community managers, for him, so I have no idea when they expire.
They expire? Oh man, I gotta.
I don't know if
use
they do or not. If they do, it's at least not for like a month, so you'll be good.